Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we are playing Royal Revolt Warriors. It is a brand new bullet heaven game available on Steam as a demo, but let's get straight into it and have a look at what we have available, starting off with the blacksmith, which is your meta progression, which is fantastic. There is some that's still coming, but we are in the demo. There's a whole bunch of different characters, so we do have all of them unlocked that are available in the demo. It's the King, the Advisor, Krista, Sam, and the Beastmaster. The only character we haven't finished the game on yet is the Beastmaster, but I really enjoy playing Krista, so that's what we're going to be showing you today. There is only the Royal Forest available right now. It does mention locked in the demo, it's still coming soon for the other two stages, but here we go. You can see we've got a single clear, single played, and it's also a co-op game, but the online multiplayer isn't available in the demo yet. So you can right or left click to access your auto aim or not. Because we're using the kind of weapon we're using, auto aim doesn't work with it. It just smacks in the direction that you're walking. So I use manual aim this time, especially with this weapon, but I really enjoy the character. Now, when you're playing this game, every single weapon is pretty decent in its own right. I really enjoy playing with Monk's Brew just for these little guys over here. We'll call them little kobolds or goblins, and I think they're goblins actually. Now, what this does is we aren't actually going to be leveling it. I don't really care about anything else besides for me keeping it safe, keeping me safe from these little guys. And what we're actually going to do is go for things like the kunai. Now, these things are monstrous. As soon as you've unlocked the kunai, the game becomes completely, broken. So, we broke the demo. We're going to grab the attack speed over there. The character stats are very interesting. One, the meta progression feels like it. I mean, if you look at how much damage we do with our skill, then the meta progression kind of doesn't make sense. So if we have a look over here, we do 5 damage, and that's with 25% increase of the max damage upgrade from the meta progression. Without that, we would be doing 4 damage. That's also plus 10% damage. I mean, 35% increased damage right now on our skills. So to me, it feels really weird the way that they've worked damage, because the base damage of the skills are so low. But at the same time, I think it's all because the enemies have so little life. Now, these are the actual creatures and the reason why we are using the brew. As you could see there, we were able to kill absolutely everything without any issues. So all of those, what would you call them, warthogs, die instantly. And then the kunai are just beautiful for these guys as well, because they run away. Now over here, we're going to grab the shadow boots, the walking speed. I feel like we need to walk around quite a lot, and that's going to help us with that. There are also, if we push escape, there is a mini map. As you can see, there are a bunch of barrels that spawn. I think as you start the game, the spawn of the barrels are random, but once you're in the game, they keep spawning in the same spot. So if I go to this area over here, let's go and try and find it. So over here, we're trying to get to those 3 barrels that are in a line, and we're going to just chill by those 3 barrels for the entirety of the game. It does make for a little bit of not moving around too much, but it does help us a lot. So there's actually 4 of them, and then with movement speed, as you can see, barrels, we get healing. So if we need to heal, we're going to end up getting a lot more life there. That's fantastic. And then there are a whole lot of other things that we're going to pick up, like Rampage. Gives us movement speed, cooldown recovery, or attack speed. Gives us damage, I think. Nope, not damage, just movement speed and attack speed. Possibly duration as well, but with the skills that we're currently using, we can't test that. But those are one of the things you want to try and grab, especially when you're in the later time of the round. And every single round is 20 minutes. There are bosses that spawn, I believe it's like every 4 to 5 minutes. So we'll see one very soon. Not too difficult as long as you have the poison kunai. There you go, we picked up gold from the actual chest now. And you can see the one chest that we picked up has already respawned. So Gaia's Harp is actually a pretty decent one as well. Summon razor sharp leaves that circle the warrior. We'll grab it. A lot of the skills land up, you know, doing a lot of AoE damage. So that's pretty cool. So we've got our garlic, we've got our holy Bible, and we're pretty using, I mean, I don't think there's any skill in Vampire Survivors that's similar to the hammer, where we just smack the ground and things die. But with regards to the actual game, the art style is really fantastic. We've got some really good looking enemies. The character models look really cool. The animations, you know, I mean, for a demo, this is all pretty well done. So it leaves you looking forward to what else they're going to be bringing to the game with the early access. Some things we're hoping for is obviously variety of enemies on different levels, and then also things like different evolutions and things like that, if they can bring such a thing in. But because they do have a selection, so you're only allowed to use 6 skills, and they've got 6 passives, it looks like they might head down the evolution lane or something similar to that, hopefully, because that would make it, you know, if the thunder, imagine having the axe and you've got area size and it lets off like a lightning bolt that travels along the line, or, you know, a straight line that you've hit. So that would be pretty cool. So here's another upgrade that we got. It's called Magnify, as you heard, and that makes everything a lot bigger. Pretty cool. You can see how big the hammer strike is. We can also go and grab ourselves the Olum, which is increased area of effect. So we're going to go and grab that because area of effect just helps with everything. And also we didn't want the other 2 options. So again, brew, we're going to keep at level 1. We don't need it to be any higher. So that's why. Last thing you can pick up from the boxes that I've got, maybe there's a rare thing that you can get that I haven't received yet, but from everything else that we've seen money, we've seen healing, we've seen the rampage, we've seen magnify. Here's another rampage. The last thing you can get is a magnet to collect all of the XP on the floor. Because we have quite a lot of XP range though, you don't really need it. But when you start playing the game, those magnets can give you so many more levels. I don't know when I clicked on my mouse. I got big fingers, so half the time I'll end up clicking when I don't want to. Alright, so there's a boss at 4.5 minutes. Clicking the button again. And as you can see, because we've got the poison, we don't even have to worry about being close to him to hit him with anything else. Just look how disgusting that poison damage is. That's from the kunais, and that's why I say that they are, you know, your best friend in this game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to land up getting nerfed. If they don't, then that's good for us. But if they don't get nerfed, that will surprise me. Not that it really matters. Maybe they don't need to be nerfed. But in my eyes, it's if I don't play with the kunai, then I'm doing something wrong. I want to play harder. So over here there's a bomb as well. Alright, so we got ourselves some exploding goblins over here. I'm gonna call them goblins like we said. And then we've also got a bunch of wolves spawning. So there is quite a bit of variety. You do get, as you keep playing, different enemies, which is fantastic. It's good to see. And they all do different things. So you can see like the wolves start to circle around you and come closer, kind of like a spiral. They spiral around your character, which is quite interesting to see. Quite funny. It's like they're spiraling around their target, ready to pounce. Also, those explosions from these explosive goblins do hurt the enemy as well. So grab that bread for life. There are different things to get. There's cheese, bread, or meat. Cheese will give you about 10 HP. Bread will give you about 25 HP. And then the meat gives you 50 HP as well. There isn't, besides for the health bar below your character, there isn't like an actual number for us to see how much we're actually getting. So there is that as well. Maybe it would be cool if maybe over here there was a number or something, like an actual number to see how much damage we take and how much, I mean, we get to see how much we heal, but being able to see how much damage we can take would be quite decent. Now, passives in the skill in the game, as you can see next to the necklace over there, there's a gold 4. That means that it is max level now. So the accessories are max leveled at level 4, and the weapons are max level at level 8, at least for the demo. I don't know if this will be what it's like in the early access or the release of the game, so not 100% sure. But for now, it's level 4 and level 8. We've got the XP. Whirling Axes is also a pretty cool one, but again, just going to focus on those, the kunai and our main attack. Nothing else needs to be focused on. Again, we're going for the little guys. This is why we picked up the Monk's Brew, so that we don't have to really worry about the enemies or the little animals or little goblins doing anything to us. And we just want to run to these poison dart dudes. They do just run away from you, attacking you, so we don't really want to worry about those. Very important to get rid of them depending on which character you're playing. The Beastmaster especially, but you'll have to play that and check out why I say that for yourself. So go download the demo and play the game. Let's go for damage. We don't have the crit one. The crit's actually pretty good. I should have gone for it. I'm sure we'll get enough levels. Although maybe not. Maybe. If I keep getting more XP gain. At least the XP gain's like 20%. So if we had to look at our stats, our attack speed has gone up to 45%. This character starts off with -15. XP gains are 90%. So pretty decent amount, which means we're nearly earning double the amount of XP that we usually would. So we should pretty much get double the amount of levels that we otherwise would get if we didn't have it. Essentially, you know, that's how you would think it would work. If that's how it actually works, I have no idea. Alright, base damage increase, that's huge. So now instead of doing like 7 damage, it's up to 10 damage because of the extra damage that we do because of the necklace over there, as well as the amulet, as well as the meta progression upgrades that we've got. So base damage upgrades are going to be huge in this game. So from 10 damage, let's see how much we do now. 11 damage. And that's practically a one-shot on a lot of things. And as you can see, we just poison the doggo over here. I know it's a wolf, everyone, but a doggo is a doggo. Increase the damage of the kunai, that doesn't really matter. It's actually the last 3 levels of the kunai which are really, really good. I think it's the last 3. Could be, it might be duration as one of them, which I don't really get, but you actually get piercing on them. So we're going to look for that. We'll grab the XP gain, that's the last level there, so we're not going to see that anymore on level up. We could grab things, silly things like the fireball maybe if we wanted to, but that's alright, we don't need it. We'll grab the spinning axe, the throwing axe, because that's quite an interesting one to have a look at how it behaves and how it works. So if we see it again before the end of the video, we will grab it. It doesn't do anything special once max level, you just maybe get an extra projectile or 2. Oh, wait, this is new. We're going to grab that. Gives us 1 projectile for specific weapons, so it's probably going to work on the leaf, which we haven't had any upgrades, and you can see it works every so often. We throw 4 kunai instead of 3, and then the leaf was only 1 leaf instead of 2, or it's 3 instead of 2. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so on projectiles that's going to work. So that would work on the throwing axes, on the leaves, on the kunai, on the fireball. Obviously, it can't work on a hammer because the hammer isn't ranged, it's melee, so it wouldn't make sense for it to. But that's actually really, really cool. So we actually unlocked that using the harp guy, the harp character. You also unlock the harp on other characters. That's the same with all the other weapons. You can unlock the hammer, the harp, every single character's actual weapon. So like the boomerang comes from that visor. Once you finish the round or get it to a certain level or whatever the case may be, there's an achievement to do, and that unlocks it on other characters. So we're going to grab the kunai, so now it pierces, so now we're going to poison more targets, and also the fact that we get a chance to throw 4 of them every second cast, which is fantastic. So we actually poison 8 targets instead of 6. And then we also land up getting pierce a second time, so we pierced another enemy, so we double the amount of enemies that we're piercing. So we go from 8 enemies hit to 12 enemies hit. It just means more damage, more XP, more levels. Alright, we aren't getting the throwing axe now. I don't see any rerolls. I am hoping we get some rerolls and maybe banishes in the future. Having quite a lot of weapons in a game, especially if you keep adding characters and things like that, does make wanted builds harder to get. So that's why Vampire Survivors, Soulstone Survivors, all those games do land up adding rerolls and banishes and things like that. So if this game can, you know, join that party when the time comes. Right now you don't really need it. Right now there aren't that many skills or abilities to really worry about rerolling. It would just help you get things faster, but it's not really necessary. Alright, this is why we wanted crit. As you can see, we did land up getting crit for the weapon. We got 15% crit chance with the 15% we already had, so that's 30% chance to crit. You can see some things are critting. I don't believe it adds it to our character sheet. No, it doesn't. We only had 5%. So we're on 20% chance to crit. And you can see every now and then we do land up doing a beautiful crit there of 16 damage. We get to about the last minute. It happens the same way that Vampire Survivors does. We land up having to clench our little bums and hope and pray that we survive. So that's going to be quite exciting to see. We're going to grab ourselves the damage upgrade. So from, what was it, about 11 damage, we're now on 12 damage. So that's why I say like 10% damage in this game really doesn't feel like it's a lot. But it's not like the enemies have a lot of life anyway. So in that aspect, it's not a massive number, but it still kills the enemies, which is perfectly fine. So now we've got a boss fight over here. Oh, I would call them elite fight. Yeah, it's an elite fight because there is a final boss. So this elite fight, as you can see, as long as we keep poisoning him, he completely gets destroyed. So the one was attack duration. I think that means that the poison stays on for longer. But otherwise there is actually an upgrade there that gives you one more pierce, which will be level 7 or level 8. Hopefully it's level 7 and we get it now. But as you can see, we are completely overpowered. I don't even need... Oh, base damage. That's even better. So it's actually a base damage and then it's an extra pierce. But as long as we have the kunai, as you can see, we're able to kill the explosive goblins. They do only take 1 hit. And as soon as they come to that circle that we've got around us, you can see they die. So this is the reason why we go for the Monk's Brew. We don't really have to worry about hitting these guys. We just have to worry about the bigger orcs that come flying with their maces, trying to kill us. Their flails, actually, more than a mace, I guess. And these guys with their hammers. So we just need to concentrate on the bigger enemies, while the smaller enemies just automatically die around us because of it. And this is the case with any meta progression. Without any meta progression, the base damage of the Monk's Brew is enough to kill everything without worrying about it. Doesn't look like we're going to get a chance to see the throwing axe. That's a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully we do see it still. I'm sure we've got 1 or 2 levels still in our character to grab. But we just gotta hope and pray that we get it. And then we'll see. We'll see how it interacts with the jewel over here for the increased projectile. It would be really cool. I don't know if the jewel isn't maxed. So there is a possibility that you are able to get more levels on it. I just don't see that happening right now for some reason. We don't have everything unlocked to max level yet, and that's why we can't, you know, guarantee it or not. Even our hammer only leveled up all the way to max level now. So this is the second last elite, or the last elite, sorry. The next fight that we have, where the enemy has a health bar like that, will be the final boss of the game, as you can see with the timer. And we get the whirling axe. We're going to take it just so we can show you. So there we go, it throws out the axe, and it's only throwing out 1 axe. So it looks like that 0.5 doesn't increase how many axes you throw. So certain weapons, I did want to test it while we were playing as to whether or not it worked on the throwing axe, and it looks like it doesn't. I do know you do get +1 projectile from the skill in the actual level ups of the skill, if that makes sense. But I wanted to test to see if it worked with the jewel, and it doesn't look like it does, which is a bit of a property. It would have been nice to have had it. So, ooh, yes, we get another projectile. So +5, that means every single attack is going to be 4 kunai. Every single leaf is an extra leaf. Oh, that's beautiful, which means it can probably go up to, if it's plus, it will be +2, definite. So we will get a 5th kunai and a 5th leaf as well. So depending on the build, going for projectile build, I would go for the fireball then, and even the boomerang, and then we could just get an insane amount of you know, damage going from those skills. Still keep the brews like my go-to. Brew and kunai, if you don't use them in any build, you're looking to lose that game, unless you're doing like a challenge where you don't use them. But I find the game like very, very easy to play if you're using those 2 weapons. They trivialize the difficulty. But maybe the game will have more difficulties where it doesn't matter if you're using those, it will become a little bit more of a challenge. And I know I feel like a broken record when I keep saying, you know, use this, use this, use this. Gotta go pick up all this gold. Unfortunately, there's no like a vacuum at the end of the game where you pick up everything that's on the floor. So you do want to try and pick up as much gold as possible, otherwise you lose it all. There is a rampage over here, that's beautiful. More gold, more levels. I don't want the royal sword. The royal sword works like the hammer, so it's where your character's facing. Also very strong. They got very good damage, but because of the way that they work and because we've already got the hammer doing all the damage, I don't think we need to run both of them. Okay, where are you, boss? Get more projectiles, so now every second hit will be 5. That is very nice to see. And there's the final boss over there. We're going to grab the attack duration over there. You can see he's got a massive attack that hits everything around him as well. Very easy to dodge, you just walk to the side. So as long as you circle the boss, you'll be very good with dodging it. We've also got the movement speed, which helps a lot. So grabbing that movement speed boots does make it a lot easier. But there you have it. That is the game. We got ourselves 2,756 gold for winning that. You can see the damage was a lot of the actual, I don't know why it's saying level time, that's in different languages over there. That's pretty funny. So we got the DPS, we got the damage dealt, which was 23,000, 22,000. Only 4 levels on here, so again it shows you what the levels do. It shows you that. It doesn't give you your stats, unfortunately, like your character stats or anything like that. But that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.